right, so this is how to solve the basic question. I'm going to put a question in the comment section in the case maybe you missed it. But let's look at how to be able to extract data from the data frame. All right. So I'm sharing my entire screen now. So this is where I am. I think so I'm just pulling up my RStudio. So but I'll be alterating so that I'll be able to see what I'm doing. Yeah, somebody actually did part of it, which is here. So let me come here, and then I'm just going to start from scratch, and then that's the assignment. I have it. I'm just going to put that was the assignment 1, and so question 1. So this is how we do it. So you put hashtag like this, and you say question 1. Then I'm going to come here. I'm going to look for what question 1 is saying. Question 1 is saying that we should create the following vectors. So we have names, age, height of 50 people, right? So because I do not have, I want to be fast, I'll use some functions to be able to create them. So I'm just going to, let me get back to my RStudio. So I'm going to create a vector of names. So the vector name is just name, that's all. And then oh, sorry, my RStudio has closed by itself. I don't know what the problem is. So the next thing is to create a data frame from. So the most important thing is how to create this. So I'm just loading my R again. So we are going to look at how to be able to create all the vectors that we need. And then we can go ahead, and then it's really taking a long time to open. As you can see in the blank, it takes time to be able to load. I don't know why. Okay. So we are back to that same place. So I just ignore the update. And so if we come here, I'm going to have this. And so I'm creating 50 names, 50 different names, and I'll pack it into a variable called names. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this, what is it, function called letters. So I'm going to use the capital letters. And so if I do that, then I can just do this and then say I want from 1 to 50. So it's going to print 1 to 50. So when you come here and then you do this, okay, so up to a point, it was not coming again. So maybe as you use a different function, it's better than this one. So what I'll do is I'll use this particular function called base0, and then I'll come here and I'll just give a specific name and then give them numbers. So let's say student, what is it? I'll just put the student. So I can just put here student. So I'm going to have student 1, student here. Then I'll come here, say that I want from 1 to 50. So it will count from student 1 up to 50 and then run it. So if we print this, you will see that I have names seated here, student 1 up to student 50. That's all. And now the next thing is to create, what am I going to create again? The next thing is to create their age, their height, their weight. And so this is how to be able to do it. And then I'm going to come here and then I'll call that variable age. Simply, then I'm going to use their age because I don't know. So I'm going to use this function called sample. So I'm going to sample from I'm assuming that, no, let me rather use run if. Use the run if function. And so in such a way that I am looking for 50 people with a minimum of 17 and then a maximum of I don't expect anybody to be more than 25. and that is all. And so, and because of that, I'm going to round this. I'm going to round it into like this. And so I'm just going to do that. So age is created. So the next, what I'm now going to do is I'm just going to copy this so that I'll be able to create the other one. Age, then height. Then I'm coming to say here height. And so that's my variable called height over there. I'll just come here and I'll paste this. So the height, I'm looking for 50 students and I want a height of, let's say, a minimum of 70 centimeters, and then a maximum of 150, 160, it doesn't really matter. And then weight, and then I'm going to give it this one call like this. So I'll paste the same thing there, and I'm looking for weight. I expect that the minimum weight should be around 40 kilogram, and then the maximum weight should be around 80 kilogram. So I'm just going to do like that. And then let me be checking to see what are the variables I'm supposed to. So I've done age, weight, height, then sex. Okay. Okay, then sex, then status, stipend. Okay, so let me do stipend before I do sex and then status, because they are categorical data. All right, so I'll go then do stipend. I'm just going to call it the same name, stipend, and then do like this. Then I'll just paste it. And so the stipend, we want a minimum of, let's say 200, and then a maximum of 500, and then that is it. What is it? So far, if we run everything should run properly. So now we are coming to do another one. That's this sex, and then I'm just going to come here and use a strategy. So I want to use sample here, but I want to sample from this vector here. Sex, you are always to write male, and then come here. I'm going to also have female, and I'm sampling from this. And how many am I sampling? I'm sampling just 50 of them, and then replacement, I will say true, and that is it. So it will randomly sample all of them. Then when I come to status like this, I will just put something like, I'm also going to sample again. And so what am I sampling? You use your vector to create where you want to do the sampling. The status, I am thinking that there should be what is it? Some should be if you are a leader, okay, I'm just going to say boss. Come here and say assistant. No, let me get something like, I'm just going to say manager. So what is it? That way, okay, let me say president. Come here, then I'm going to have organizer, and then I'll have here secretary. Okay, come here, I'll have status, treasurer. Then maybe it's okay. So I'm sampling from that particular vector, and I'm sampling just 50 of them. And then I will also say replacement is equal to this. So let me collectively run everything again and see. Yep, you notice that everything has been successfully run. How many variables? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let me check and see how many were there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there are 7. So I finished creating that particular one. The next thing is create a data frame using the vectors you have created above. So that's my next question. My next question, I'm going to come here, hashtag, and I'll call that one question 2. My question 2. Then I'll come down here. But you see, it's always good to do this. So my question 1, I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will fold it up. Question 2, I'll also do 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it can fold it up. So when I come here, I'm going to create a data frame. So what am I going to call it? I'm going to call it my data. And so that's the name of my data frame. I'm just going to come here, use the data frame function. Okay. And then once I've already created the vectors, I'll just put their names inside. So I'll just put here a name, comma, make sure that the spelling is the same. If the name here is not, if you put uppercase letters, it will not recognize it. So I have age, I have HT, which means height. Then I have weights, WT. Then I have stipend. Then I have sex. And then, sex, and then I have status. Yeah. And then that is all. If I should run that, it runs properly. So if I should come and do a head, just print some few lines of the data frame, which I call my data, like this. I should be able to see all of them printed. So you can see that I printed all of them here. Okay. Now, I want to, what's the next question? That's for question 2. Then I'll come here, then I'll put again, and put here question 3. I'm taking time to let you understand how, like this, and then come to my question 3 and enter there. So my question 3, what was the question? Okay, no, this is actually question 2, 1. Update the data frame by +2, and then pack your resource into a new variable. It means that I'm just going to create another data frame using the old one. So I'm going to update the old one and then give it a new data frame name. So, but I'm going to update it by adding every figure there too. So I'll simply just come here. So I will, instead of this, I'm taking this one out, and then I'll come here and put here hashtag question, that's question 2.1. Then I'll come there and say, I'm going to update the data frame. But remember that the data frame, now come and look at something here. This is column 1. Column 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 to 5 are all integers. So we can update everything there. 2 to 5. So when I come here, I'm simply going to say my data, which is here already. Then use your square bracket like this. And then, rows and columns. We are looking for column 2 to 5. Those ones. And then we add it. And then we simply add 2 to it. That's all. And then when we do that, we pack the resource. We pack the resource into a new variable. So I'm going to call that one my data 2. And that's all. I run it. And that's all. It has updated that. So I now have a new variable called my data 2. And that's all that I needed to do over there. What's the next thing? The next thing was my question 2.2, update the first data frame with the new data frame row-wise. So I'm just going to join the two data frames together. Yes, it is like the way you update your data frame using rows, so you add some information to it. So I'm going to come here. So I'm going to use, that's my question 2. So it's going to be hashtag question 2.2. Then I come here. So I'm going to update my data frame, the first one, and then the second one row wise. So what I'm simply mean, I'm going to use this function called rbind. So, and then I'll bring my first one, my data frame one. Okay, my data here, that's the first one. And then the second one is my data underscore two, the two one here. And then when I do that, I'll pack it into a new variable too, so that you can see it. So I will just use this right assignment, and I will call it my data 3, and that's all. Do that. Oh yes. So here I made a mistake. They are saying that the number of here obviously is true. Is what it is. It is true. So what I have to do here, if I print this one, my data frame 2, the number of columns are just only, they are only how many? They are only 5, but the other one they are more than that. So I need to update this one. I need to update this particular data frame, because look at this, and I need to update it accordingly. So I need to add column 1, column 6 and 7, 1, 6, 7 to it. So first of all, I needed to do this. So I'll come and use column bind, cbind, like this. And so what am I binding? I am binding what is it? My data 2, my data 2 like this, and then to my data here, but I'm not binding everything. So I'll come and use this and use C. Then come here and say I'm binding 1, then 6 and 7. Why 6? 6 and then 7. That's all. And when I finished, I'm still taking the whole thing into the same variable. So I'm just going to do it like this, and then I'm taking it to the same my data 2. So because I don't want to create another one again, and that is it. So now if I come here, all I need to do is, if I have my data 2 here, so you see that now all of them are there. But there is also something I need to rearrange the listen, the name, the sex, and then the status. So I have to rearrange in such a way that it matches with the other one, which starts with name and end with sex and status. So I have to arrange it in that order. How do I do that? I'll simply just come here. So I have my my data 2 here. I'm still going to maintain the same variable. So I'm going to do like this, and then I will come here and say the same variable, which is what is it? My data 2. But here, I'm now going to use C and rearrange the columns. So I know that in my data 2, I now want so I'll come here and check. This is my data 1. My data 2, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want 5 to be the first one. So I will say here 5. And then followed by 1, 2, 3, 4. followed by 1:4, followed by 6 and then 7. I'm sure 6 and 7. So it's going to be followed by 6 and then 7. Right, so run it and see. Yeah, that will just work properly. So now if I print my data 2, and then I print my data, you see that the arrangement is now the same. So it starts with name here, age, height, weight, stipend, sex, status. So you can see the same thing here. And then in that order. So now both of them are arranged in that order. So I can now answer the question 2 properly. So row bind, I'm now going to bind the 2 data sets and I'll give it called a data 1. So you see that now it binds properly. So this is my new variable called my data 3. So if I run that, you see that I have bind the 2 of them. So they were 50-50. So you can see that they are now 100. What is it? It's now 100. I've bind the 2 of them together. So that's how it is. Okay. So that's for question 2 is done. So let's look at question 3. Question 3 was extract the first 10 data scientists, names, weight, and then status. Name, weight, and then status. So we are going to do that. We are going to extract the first 10. The first 10 is simply 1:10, right? And then we are looking at it in column, the columns of names, weight, and then stipend. So I'll go back to my RStudio and then come. Okay, I'm just going to click here. The rest of the information, if you have done all these things I have here, the rest is now Coco. So I'm just going to do this, and that's going to give me my question 3, right? Yeah. And so I'll do like this just to make sure that. So I now have my full data set, which is here. My data 3, which is here. That's what I'm going to work with throughout. And so I can just do this. And then, but they are saying the first 10. So the first 10 means 1:10. And then in which columns? The columns I don't think are following of the name. So I'll use C and then do like this. The name is first column, right? Is 1, followed by, let me check. I need to check to see name something. Question 3 is name, weight, statute. Name, weight, statute. Name, weight, and then statute. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4 again. Yeah, so I'll put here 4. And then the statute is 7. 7. That's all. So we have extracted that data. So I'll just pack that results into what I will call question number 3, Q3. That's all. Run that, and then my Q3 is there. Print it, you will see that it is here. But let me clear my console and run again. So I come down again, and then I'll do my question number 4. What is question number 4 saying? Question 4 says extract the last 10. Is that the opposite? of name, weight, and stipend. The last 10. So they are about 100 in all, right? So once they are 100, the last 10 will be from 91 to 100. So you simply just come, put your my data 3, which is here, bring your square bracket like this, and then the last 10 is 91 to 100. So I have 91 is to what? 100. And then I'm looking at it in terms of rules which are not following. So I'll use my combine. I have one which represents name. So let me come here. Name. It's like weight or something. So name, weight. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Weight is actually 4, and then stipend is 5. And then I'll pack that particular one into my answer or question number 4. And so if we run that, that is also there. My question number 4 has been answered. Great. I have packed that out. Name, weight, stipend. Now let's go and look at question number 5. Consistently, I like to clean this and print this again. Okay. So my question number 5, let me go and check what it is saying. Question number 5 says extract the middle 10 data scientist names, weight, and statue. I think name, weight, and statue. Okay. So let's go back to RStudio. And then we have our question number 5. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're extracting. So we just have my data 3, which is here. Then put your square bracket, put comma here, and then go to the row side. You are looking at the middle. So the middle simply means 45. Okay, so if I have from 45 to 55 will be the middle, I'm sure. So I have from 45 to, no, it should rather be 46 to 55. That's the middle of what? Of name. And so the name is 1, weight, and statue. Let me check which one is weight. Weight is 4, and then statue is 7. And that is all. And I'm packed the answer where I'm going to pack the answer to question 5. So I'm going to put that Q5. So you run it, and then your Q5 is ready. Now we'll go to the next question. That's question 6. We are almost finishing like that. Extracts every 5th data scientist name, weight, height, stipend, and then sex. Question 6. We are going to extract every 5th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then the 5th person, then we extract. Okay. So this is what is going to happen. We get back to question 6. I'm going to come down a little bit, and I'll say question 6. And so it's the same data set. My data 3 here. Use your square bracket like this. Here we have to use C on this side to be able to extract all the data that we need, because we're not extracting data that is in sequential order. So every fifth person. So we start from row number 5, followed by row number 10, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30, 35, we have 40, 45, have 50, 55, we have 60. It's becoming long, right? 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 95, and then 100. We have finished extracting every fifth person of which particular column we are looking at, and then we use C again and then open up for name. I know 1 is part of it, but let me look at the question again. That's question number 6. So we are looking at name, weight, height, stipend, 6. Weight, height, stipend, and 6. Okay. So I'm just pulling this down. Name, weight, height, so I follow by 4 first, before 3, stipend, and 6. So I have stipend. So I have stipend. Okay. Stipend is number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's actually 5. 5. And then the last one is 6. And then 6 like this. And then we pack our answer to where? We simply do this and we pack it to, I know we call that one question 6. Run it. That is all. Do that. You see that we have printed. There's something wrong with my arrow. It has vanished. I don't know what the problem is. Oh God, what has happened to my arrow? I did not save what was there. I don't know whether it is saved or not. But we're just getting to the end of the assignment like that, and then this thing is misbehaving. I don't know what the problem is, honestly. Okay, so I think we've gotten the video up to this point. If the other part comes, what is it? I will update the video accordingly. I'll leave it here and then try and see what if I can fix what this problem is with my arm. All right, so I hope you now have a leeway as to how the whole thing works. It appears